Good morning, Flosstube friends. It is Friday, December 30th, and I am going to do a shop tour of our Christmas decorations. Better late than ever. As you can see, it's kind of gray outside. I was hoping that it would be a bit more sunny and lighter this morning, but well, it's the weather, so we'll just take it as it is, and I'll go along. I've put on the lights, so you may, some of the models may look a little different than what they look in real life, but overall you'll get a good impression. Over here in our corner, we have on the left side Christmas in the Round by JBW Designs. 3 yearly Santas. I believe this was 2020, 21, and 19. And then in the corner are Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus by Needleworks Notions. I'll zoom in now to give you a better look. We finished Christmas in the Round on top of a cardboard box that we got at Action. So always look for different ways to finish your needleworks, because there are plenty of items available that will be good for finishing if you just have a bit of a creative mind. And then two of our what are they called? Flat folds. Couldn't think of what they were called. 2 flat folds for our Santas by the Prairie Schooler, and here is number 3. And then in the corner, I'll move the door a little. There we go. This is Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus by Needleworks Notions. These are a pretty good sized dolls that are able to stand on their own. As you can see, we stitched both the inside and the outside of the arms, and they were stitched on 25 count fine floba by Zweigart, which is a great fabric if you want to do a stand-up like this, because the fabric is a little bit stiffer than the normal Zweigart fabrics. Moving over to the space between the 2 windows. At the top you can see All Bundled Up with Dye Needle and Thread. Then one of the yearly Santas by Heart in Hand Needle Art, and Kringle and Woodward, I think, by Plum Street Samplers. We have our little Christmas tree with different ornaments. And in the back, you'll see the Prairie Schooler Santa 2022 finished on a cutting board. Under there is our Advent calendar with Joyful Scene by Teresa Kogut, stitched by me and finished by Kobe in the center. Then we have Winter by Crocetta Agogo and Babbo Natale 2021, also by Crocetta Agogo. I'll try to get nobody in the movie who might not want to be there. So I'll zoom in now. Here you can see our framed pieces. I think they're mostly stitched as called for. We may have substituted some colors that were not used a lot just because it didn't make sense. Then down here, the Prairie Schooler Santa of this year. This is another wood piece that we got at the Action over here. Then here are some ornaments that we stitched or received as gifts. Down here is Babbo Natale by Crocetta Agogo. I really love her Christmas design. She has such a unique style of designing, and they always make me happy. Over here is Winter, which we finished in a serving tray, again found at the Action. It was a little smaller than the tray, so we solved it by adding a little tree to the left side. And then here in the back, our Advent calendar, again something we got at the Action, and we decided to stitch something in the middle, covering up the Christmas scene that was there. And as you can see, it worked out quite well thanks to Kobe's finishing talents. Over here are 2 of Kobe's finishes. On the left is Kind and Gentle Woodlands by Artful Offerings. And to the right is Peace by Artful Offerings. It's the winter design they have just released in end of November, beginning of December. And Kobe stitched it up in silky threads, the silky threads that we just got new in the shop. We will be doing a conversion for this, and the kit will be available in December. Then if we move down, there is Winter in the Round by JBW Designs. And I'll zoom in closer. On the right is December 25th by Heart in Hand. And underneath is Ante Salva di Mezzo by Renato Parolin. So just to give you a closer look of this beautiful sampler, we did it for our Christmas workshop in July, and it was a hit with all the ladies that attended. Then over here is the beautiful piece sampler. It's really a pretty design, and the silky covers the 14 threads per centimeter or the 36 count fabric beautifully. Then down here is Christmas in the Round, and over here is December 25th, which were both finished in a embroidery hoop. And down here, Ante Salva di Mezzo by Renato Parolin, which was finished again in a tray that we got at Big Bazaar this time. I think this is my most favorite finish of this year. Kobe stitched 6 of the Santas from the Merry Mini Surprise leaflet by the Prairie Schooler, and we had already bought these felt stars at the Wibra last year, I think, and we're already thinking of making them into a garland, guirlande, but we didn't find the right design. And this year when the Prairie Schooler came out with the chart, we were like, that's got to be it. So here they are. I'll zoom in a little bit closer so you can get a better look at them. They are gorgeous. Around the corner is Peace on Earth by Kathy Barrick, which is also one of my all-time favorites. Then down here, I'll try not to move too fast, is the Terry Stocking by Shepherd's Bush. I stitched this one years and years and years ago, and it's still coming out every year. Then in the front here are 2 Santas by Twin Peak Primitives. I think they're 2020 and 21, but I'm not really sure. They're lovely Santas. Kobe stitched them. We have them on loan, and she used her own colors. And then here in the back is our collection of Hello from Liz Matthews trees. On the left, you see Autumn Tree. And on the right is the second day of Christmas. In the middle is the tree that Liz designed for our Christmas catalog last year. We still have a few kits available if you're looking for them. They're a really nice stitch. They're all in DMC, and you can finish them quite easily. Down at the bottom is Mayflowers, and on the right, it's a little bit tucked away, is Ice Tree. Then in the corner over here, we have an older JBW Designs chart. Sorry that I don't recall the name of the chart, but it's one of her Christmas ones, apparently. And then if we move over here, we have this stocking on loan. And the lady who stitched this knows that I was thrilled to be able to show it to you during our Christmas open days. And she generously allowed us to keep it in the shop till Christmas was over. This is Woodland Christmas by Stony Creek Collection, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things. I love all the animals. There's so much detail in the chart, and she stitched it beautifully. She did the finishing herself as well, and it just looks amazing. And then over here, we have 3 more Santas by the Prairie Schooler. This was 2017, 16, and 15. 18. 2017, 16, and 18. and Kobe finished them as little pillows. We decided to do the same finishing for 3 years in a row, so we wouldn't have to come up with new finishing ideas, and also it makes it nice to group them together. In the back is an older design with dye needle and thread. Over here is one of Ube stick design charts. I love this little Christmas village. This was another Christmas workshop a couple of years ago, and it just really makes me happy. Then up here is Christmas Portrait by Madame Chantilly, which was stitched on 32 count Belfast with the called for DMC colors. Another very cheerful design. Up there is Let It Snow by Barbara Anna Designs. This is one that my mom stitched years ago. It's really, really lovely. Then over here is Winter Blessing by Twin Peak Primitives. And over here is December 25th by Threadwork Primitives. As you can see, we have more on our mantle. I will zoom in now, but I just wanted to give you the overall view. It's just so wonderful to be able to pull out all our Christmas models and have them in the shop. Up on the top are, oh gosh, it's a snowman from 2020, I think, by Twin Peak Primitives. I called it the never-ending snowman because his coat seemed to go on forever and ever and ever and a day. But I'm so pleased with how he turned out, and he was a joy to stitch. On the right is Christmas, Celebrate Christmas by Madame Chantilly. This was stitched for us by a customer, and I just love how it turned out. Then over here is another favorite, Christmas Tiny Town. Is there a cuter series from this year? I don't think so. Cecilia really outdid herself with this Tiny Town series. We finished it on a piece of canvas that I still had in my stash, and Kobe stitched the model. In our little glass cabinet, we have on the top left, Christmas Cat by Bent Creek, which I stitched last year. Then next to it is a design from Tasket Leaflet by Needlework Press. And in the back is Seasonal Etchings Winter, which I also stitched last year. Then on the right are two berries from the Bristol Berries number 2 by Erica Michael Designs. Then we have in the middle the 6 berries from Deck the Halls by Blackbird Designs. On the right is Round Alphabet by Heart in Hand Needle Art. And then on the bottom is, there's two Biscornu from Snowy Woods by Summerhouse Stitchworks. There is Winter Whites by Summerhouse Stitchworks. And on the right is Home by Summerhouse Stitchworks. And I'll zoom in now. The little pincushion in the middle is the design that Beth Seal did exclusively for our 20th anniversary, which was in November, and my mom stitched it up. It's such a great series. Then on this corner we have in the back Cardinal on Egg by Bent Creek. It is Prickly Snowman by Artful Offering next to it. Again, finished in a little tray from The Action. Then in the back is December in the Netherlands by Twin Peak Primitives, which is an exclusive for us. Before that is one of the, it was a series by Little House Needleworks, a Christmas series. This is number 1. Next to it is Winter something by Bent Creek. I don't know. I stitched it early this year and I couldn't recall the name. It's also a series with a summer, spring, and fall design. And in the front is one of the tart form finishes by Plum Street Samplers. And over here we have Mr. Freeze by Teresa Kogut. And below that is Wintertide Sampler. which is a full kit by Shepherd's Bush. It comes with 32 count antique white Belfast and all the silk threads and embellishments that you need. Over here we have Jingle Bell Santa by Mani Di Donna. I love how he's situated at the bottom of the frame, and we added 5 jingle bells instead of the buttons that the chart called for. Then next to it is one of our new designers, My Fanny Designs. She has an incredible series of Santas. I think it's 1 through 12 now. And this was number 3 because, I mean, cats and Santa. It was pretty obvious that this is the one we wanted to have as a model first. Then below is Good Tidings of Joy by Needlework Press, which I stitched last year and was a lot of fun to do. And on the right is Merry Christmas by La-Di-Da. Then we will just continue up there. It is Caroling You, I think, by Twin Peak Primitives, which I stitched a few years ago. And down there to the left is Mary Mouse by With Thy Needle and Thread. Next to the carolers are Marry You, I think, from Teresa Kogut. And next to that is A Yearly Santa by Heart in Hand Needle Art. Then we'll move over. There is the snowman from Country Cottage Garden from a few years ago. And pretty sure it's not called Ho Ho Ho, but it's an older With Thy Needle and Thread chart. This is my Wee Bird sampler tree. I stitched the coffee and the Valentine bird this year and stitched the other ones in previous years. They are, I think almost all of them are done on 40 count linen, so they're pretty tiny. And I hope to add to the collection later on this year. I'm pretty sure that Cecilia will introduce some more birds. Over here on the left we have a Ube stick design winter scene that I can't recall the name of at the moment. I'm sorry. If you need to know, just let me know in the comments. On the right is Sleeping Bee by The Blue Flower. And then if we move down slowly below, there is Christmas Town by Modern Folk Embroideries. And to the right is Farben des Wassers by Historische Stickmuster. Behind our counter we have 2 kind of curtain kind of things that we hang up every year, and during the Christmas time we turn them to this side, which is a very nice red, and then the rest of the year they have like an off-white backing then, and we can just turn them around and use the other side. So on the left, top to bottom, is Snowbirds by With Thy Needle and Thread. Below that is Merry Christmas by Threadwork Primitives, and at the bottom is Rudolph by La-Di-Da. Then on the right is Very Merry Christmas by The Scarlet House, December 25th by Stacy Nash Primitives, and on the bottom is For You by Plum Street Samplers. Paulette did this as an exclusive for us in our Christmas catalog a few years ago, and the chart is now available as well. So on the right we have Merry Cat, Christmas Cat, I think, by The Blue Flower, stitched by a lovely friend of mine and finished in a small embroidery hoop again. Then on the right we have Love and Joy by October House Fiber Art. Below is Ready Set Snow by Hands On Designs. And then I'll move the camera a bit here. On the left are Winter Sampler by Heart in Hand Needle Arts and Christmas Sampler by Heart in Hand Needle Arts. That was also a seasonal series and we had quite a few stitched up. These pillows are so wonderful. In the middle we have a Tralala design that we kitted up for you with all the called for threads, as well as the embroidery hoop. And in the right is Mr. Polar by Artful Offerings. And if you look very carefully, you can see a little bit of my car as well. And because spring can never come fast enough after Christmas and New Year's, this is Farben des Frühlings by Historische Stickmuster, beautifully stitched up by Kobe with the call for Swaddle silks on 36 count linen. And then below is, Santa, Reindeer Santa, I think, by Kathy Barrick. I stitched this one a couple of years ago, and it's still such a cute design. Hello, Flosstube friends. It is Friday afternoon. It is December the 30th of 2022. Just a day and a half to go, and I am ready to ring in 2023. I hope you had a wonderful week, whether you celebrated Christmas or not, that you had time to visit with friends, family, loved ones, and that you could do all the things that you love to do, including some stitching. We had a kind of a rough period coming up to Christmas. Last Thursday, so a week ago, we had to say goodbye to my mom's cat, Jeffrey. He was old and he was just not well anymore. He couldn't get up anymore. He couldn't eat. He couldn't drink. And the one thing he did do was purr, but it was time to let him go. So we called the vet, and fortunately we have a vet that comes at home for these occasions, and he agreed with us that it was time. So we said goodbye, and it was a very rough day. He'd been with my mom ever since my dad passed away, and before that he'd been really my dad's cat. My dad was at home a lot since my mom was usually in the shop, and the two of them were inseparable, and he was the sweetest cat I've ever known. He would never bite, never use his nails on you. He would just, tap my mom on her arm if he wanted to sit in her lap. And he was really the sweetest cat. So it was a really sad day. Like I said, kind of a rough lineup for Christmas. We did celebrate Christmas at my mom's. My brother and sister-in-law and myself, we brought over dinner. My brother baked a wonderful apple pie. That's kind of a tradition for us. But still, it was kind of quiet. You're so used to having him around, and he would come over to give you head bumps, and he wanted to be scratched behind his ear. He would ask for food. He loved his food. So yeah, Christmas was not really what we anticipated, but it was a good decision. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you had a wonderful time, and now we're working towards the end of the year. And like I said in my last video, I decided to participate in New Year's Eve 12 by 12. I think I forgot to include the video the last time, so I will try to remember to do it this time. Kia B explained how this works, and this year, instead of doing 12 starts from noon till midnight every hour on the hour, you could also work on whips. Well, since I'm starting a new project every week for my Project 53, I thought I have more than enough projects going on. I don't need to start anymore. So I looked at my whips and tried to decide which ones I wanted to work on. I was looking for whips that I do want to work on in 2023 as well, hopefully finishing some of them. I know I won't be able to finish all of them. There are a few that take quite a bit of time to get parts of it done, and I know that despite the fact that this week I've been stitching my heart out, I've really accomplished so much, and I'll show that in the next video. I decided these are the whips that I would really like to see done in, either the coming year or in 2024. There are some older whips that I haven't shown you before. There are some whips that you have seen in the last video, I think, and some whips that are definitely familiar because I showed them before, but I wanted to sort of give you an idea of what I'm going to work on, and also have sort of like a documented start of 12 by 12 for tomorrow. If you hear some scratching, I don't know if you can hear it, but that's just Pookie. Since I'm back in the shop, one of my customers asked me when I was gonna do another video in the shop, and I promised her the next one would be in the shop. So I didn't, the last one that was before she'd been here. So this one is for you. I hope you enjoy it. It's just a little bit easier in the kitchen because I have a table. I can sit down and I can just move things from one end to the other end of the table. But the surroundings are much nicer here. I realized that. Though I do see that we still have up our 3 little sleds that we got before Christmas. And we fully intended to stitch something to put on the sleds. But like with some good intentions, they never happened. And then I was gonna print some pictures of designs that you could use for these sleds. Didn't happen either, but the sleds are still up here, so enjoy them. I'll see if I move here a little bit to this side. Yeah, that might be better. Then you have a nicer view in the back. Anyways, my 12 by 12. So the idea is that on New Year's Day, you work on a whip for an hour. So from noon to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc. And then by the stroke of midnight, you've been stitching for 12 hours. Well, I have no idea if I'm able to do that at all. I don't recall sitting down for that long. And I might just, take like 15 minutes from 1 hour and 15 minutes from the next hour to just walk around or do some stuff in the house, make dinner, all the kind of things that you normally do as well. So I have no idea how much I'll get done, but it'll be fun to work on 12 different projects. To start with, this is Mary by, see, I gotta do that different as well, by Mojo Stitches, Be Mary. And I started this as part of my project 53. And this is how far I am. I haven't worked on this since you saw it last, so... And this is on 46 count. It's a fiber on a whim fabric. I don't know the color, couldn't remember, but it's a 46 count. So I think I'll do this quite early on in the afternoon because I'm afraid once it gets past 7 p.m. that my eyes might not agree with working on 46 count. So hopefully one of the first things I'll work on for an hour. Next up is another project 53. This is Caddy Cane by Luminous Fiber Arts. I started it quite a while ago in November and haven't worked on it. I've worked on other pieces. This is how far I got, and we'll see how far I am after another hour of this. This is on 32 count Belfast linen. It's mocha. So this might be later in the evening. It's quite easy to see and it's a lot of fun to stitch. Then another quite newish whip. I shared this in my last video. This is by Pet Toad Heartstrings. And I started it a long time ago. This is how far I am. And I'm hoping to be able to finish his other side of the coat so that I then can start working on his face. This was stitched on 25 count Annabella in the color potato, and some sweet viewer mentioned that she got some potato from Annabella's, I think. I'm not sure if that's what I was looking for, but because you said that, I checked the Witchold website. No, not Witchold, the Zweigart website. And I think they still make Annabella. It's a linen, cotton, and modal fibers combination. It has only 50% of linen, which account for the kind of uneven, don't know if you can see that, the unevenness in the fabric, but also it has more body, which is because of the synthetic fiber. Once New Year has started, I'll contact my person that I usually email at Zweigart and ask her if they still have this available, because I think it would be a very nice fabric to carry in the shop as well. It's very easy on the eyes, and even with 2 strands, it covers really nicely. So that's another hour. Then this you haven't seen in a very long time either. It's Pumpkin Topiary by Scissor Tail Designs. And I started this many moons ago. I have no idea how long. But this is also on 46 count. Those are some really tiny stitches. That's better. It's done with DMC. I still think DMC is a very tight fit on 46. I know some of you stitch on 52 or 56 with DMC, and I have no idea how you do it. So we'll see how this goes. I know that I put it aside because I wasn't enjoying it very much, but now that I'm more used again to working on 40 count, I thought I'd give it a try because the design is really darling. And I'm stitching this part of the design. And I'm hoping that once it's done to get it in a nice small frame, because I think it would look really, really cute in a small frame. That's number 4. Number 5, When Witches Go Riding. I haven't worked on this in, I think, like 2 months either. It's by the Prairie Schooler, and it's one of their designs that I've been wanting to stitch for a very long time. So I started it in October, I think. Here is how far I am. Don't know if you can properly see it. It's a little washed out, but the colors are great. I've got quite a bit done on it already. Once you get to the words, I think it'll go pretty fast. The tree is going to take some time, and then at the top you have that full covered moon and the band with the cats, so this will take quite some bit of time. This tree is what I'm going to work on next, and maybe fill in the pumpkins here at the bottom. So that's project number 5. Project number 6. This is the only one I didn't get out of the folder. Let me see. I was going to say, do I have... This is Autumn Pindrum by Kathy Barrick. Kathy designed this for our Pindrum Club in 2020-21. And I've been really itching to stitch it. So I started it a while ago with, of course, the house. So I have no idea what I might finish filling in the house, or I might start on the roof to get, you know, a bit more done during an hour. I think the house will take quite some time filling in, but we'll see how it goes. I did make a mistake. You can see that one row of the door that's not filled in. That's a mistake, and I need to check again because I think I'm 1 stitch off. I didn't want to rip the whole part of the house, so need to check on that. Project number 6. Project number 7. And I surely hope that my lineup works, that I have 12 projects. This is American Homes that has been in the closet for a while. I'm working on block 7 here, and I got quite a bit done on block 7 already. So this is where I am. As you can see, I still have some parts to fill in the house, and then I can fill in the background, which I might do tomorrow because that's kind of mindless stitching. I just need to make sure that there are a couple of little stars in the air above the house, in the sky above the house. So I need to pay attention to that I leave those spaces open. Project number 7. This counting is, I've had some projects that I added, then I subtracted them because I thought, well, I'm not going to work on them next year anyway, so it doesn't really make sense to work on it for like an hour now. Anyways, next up is my gift to thee. This was my last Sunday start for my project 53. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this lady so that she walks towards the house. It's one of my pet peeves. I don't like, people walking off a design. Same with animals. If they were facing this way, I would mirror them so that they were facing that way. It's just a little thing that I would prefer. So it shouldn't be too hard to mirror her. There's space. I need to see how this works out. I'm just noticing that this might butt up right till here, but maybe I can put it in here or leave one more stitch out of here and get it here in the middle. Anyways, that's another worry for another week. I'm working on the house, and I think it'll easily take me another hour to get that done. This is how far I am. I'm stitching this on 36 count Edinburgh linen in the color it used to be flax, and then I just dipped it into coffee. Still smells quite a bit of coffee, but it got a nice brownish tint to it, which I thought would go really well with this design. And also I think the white will pop up more. Number 8. Number 9 is another project that has been, this has been a whip for longer than I care to admit. So I will not do that. If you look for the publication date of this chart, you'll know how old it is. It's old. But since I got the horse almost done, I feel it's really worth finishing this. I still like the design. I like the primitive part of it. I used to ride horses when I was a teenager. I even had my own pony who was white, not black like this one, but had, you know, like all kinds of stains and stuff on her. She was never completely white. It was always a kind of a challenge to clean her up before any kind of competition that I would have. But anyways, Spot the Horse. This one is stitched on 36 count. Trying to see if I can find the selvage. This is by Birds of a Feather. It's Meadowlark. Way back, Birds of a Feather used to not only design cross-stitch chart, but also hand dye fabrics. And this, well, like I said, since I started it way long ago, I had this in my stash. I have a pretty generous margin. I think I would be much more stingy with the fabric right now, but anyways, since I started this, I want to finish this. So that's project number 10, 9. Let's see, 1. Oh my goodness. I don't know. If there's one project too many, I'll just ditch one. 5. It's a lovely design by Jessie and me, and I am stitching it on a piece of hand-dyed linen by Kobe. She gifted me this one year for Christmas or my birthday, I can't really remember. And I'm stitching it with a combination of silk threads that I have in my stash. I think this is a better color-wise. This looks a little bit better. So there's still quite a bit to do. But hey, that's what another 12 months are for. So that was project number 10. Let me see. Number 11 is another oldie but goodie. Oh, let me show you first what it's gonna look like. This is the branch by Bent Creek. And they would give it to you with snappers and a little button. However, I'm stitching it on 40 count linen. As you can see, I'm quite far along. I only have to finish the branch, and that's basically it. So hopefully this is another finish in 2023. I'm using, I think, all of the called for colors or close. It's been too long to know for sure. So I want to pick this one up and hopefully get it done. That was project 11. And then project number 12 is another Christmas project, Patchwork Deer by Art and Hand Needle Art. And this one also needs a bit of love. Oh, that fold is going to be a pain to get out. I shouldn't have folded it in that way. Anyway, as you can see, I did most of the reindeer, and now I'm working on the border here, the belly band. And then I'll move over to the snow. You can't really see it. Maybe if I put it like that. No. See, the light is just off today. This is on a soft green Edinburgh linen, a 36 count. It's with all of the called for. I may have substituted some. I usually do that when there's just, you know, when you only use a little, or if I have a color that's already in use and that is a perfect match. So those are the 12 projects that I'm going to work on. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to do another film Flosstube episode in maybe a week or 2 weeks. Like I said, I've been stitching a lot this week, so I have quite a bit to show, but I want to make sure that I got everything set up. That's it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the shop tour. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll put the information in the drop down box below. And you can find me as A.N. Koning which is my personal account, or the Handwerk Boetiek, which is my shop account. I think what I'll do, if I figure out how to do it, I'll post pictures of before and after. I'll try to do that every hour. So you should be bombarded with quite a few photos. And I'm really curious to see how much I can done. I've never done this before. Like I said, 12 hours sound to me like an awful long time. I don't know if I'm really able to concentrate for that long, but we'll see. And hopefully these projects get some love and attention tomorrow. In the meantime, I don't know when you're watching this, if it's before midnight on the 31st of December. Happy New Year to you. I hope you have a marvelous new year, that it's inspiring, creative, that it brings you a lot of love, and that you're healthy throughout the year, and that you may go on big and small adventures. I'll see you again in 2023. Bye for now.